This is for the vinyl community, and this is for a thread started by James Griffith in the UK. Give me some babies. Give me your babies. Now, it's a thread showcasing cover pictures of babies on record covers. And James was hesitant to show this. In fact, he said he recorded it and thought it was just way too silly. So I'm going to showcase babies on album covers. But first, in case a lot of you don't know, I want to tell you how babies are made, because this is important and you should know the backstory. I like to, when I show my records, I like to tell stories, personal stories, historic references, how records came to be and how things got made. So babies. Babies are made in different ways. Well, actually, babies are usually made in one way. It's when a mama and a papa, well, actually, they're not mamas and papas yet. They're a man and a woman. A man and a woman. When a man and a woman get together, they take off their clothes, or most of their clothes. You don't have to take your clothes off. You can just unbutton a few key areas. And the male puts his thing into the woman's thing. And depending on luck or not luck, it depends if sometimes you want to make a baby and sometimes you just want to have personal pleasure and please your partner. And then in 9 months, if you're lucky or you're not, again, depending on your situation, you have a baby. So you get together, sometimes nakedly, sometimes not. You do the deed and you have a baby. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out. Sometimes people want to have a baby and things happen, unfortunately. And sometimes, like in this case, a miscarriage happens. And this was a sad occasion. But fortunately, in the long run, it worked out. And that couple had a baby. So here we go with album covers in no particular order, but probably the most important album cover and the most famous album cover from my point of view, the baby on the cover, is this. 1966, Yesterday and Today, the infamous Butcher cover, photograph taken by Robert Whitaker in a conceptual, avant-garde, surrealist moment of photography. And it was recalled, pasted over, and then Yesterday and Today came out with the trunk photo, the shitty trunk photo that was pasted over. This was American-only release. Probably the second most famous cover with a baby is Nevermind by Nirvana from the Seattle grunge period. This baby is no longer a baby. One of my favorite baby covers, and it is the actual baby of the artist, and that's Sunfighter, Paul Kantner and Grace Slick. This is their baby China, who is now also grown up. This is the album I think they did right after Paul Kantner, Jefferson Starship, Blows Against the Empire, which is a great album, not really a quote Jefferson Starship album, but really a kind of really cool science fiction somewhat post-Airplane. But this is interesting record on Grunt Records, subdivision of RCA, a custom label for the Jefferson Airplane and the whole group of artists. Grace Slick and Paul Kantner, Sunflower with China, baby China. I think they wanted, seriously, they were going to call the baby God, but then they changed the name to a more appropriate China. Paul McCartney, and I know James showed this, obviously. There's baby Mary, isn't that Mary? I think it's Mary. 1970, Paul's debut, 50 years ago today, or this year. This is being taped in 2020. Paul McCartney on his first solo album. 2 CDs. Years of Refusal, Morrissey. Probably the most unlikely artist to be holding a baby. Wanker holds baby. Personally, he's a wanker, but I still enjoy his music, including this one. Morrissey holding a baby. How unlikely is that? Great album too, and James showed this one, but I want to get this on vinyl, by the way. I don't know if it's on vinyl, I think it is. But this is a Surprise, Paul Simon, amazing record, produced by Brian Eno. I think this is the one by Brian Eno, right? Whatever. It's a baby. It's not about the music, it's about the baby, about the babies. He also showed this one, but I couldn't resist, Split Ends. And the reason I show this too, because this is a copy, when I worked in a record store, we had an in-store, and they all showed up for the in-store before I saw them that evening at the boarding house in San Francisco. And they all signed my copy. So these are not babies, but babies like people dressing up in silly costumes to make them laugh. So Creepy Baby, Split Ends from Down Under. Down Under, mate. New Zealand? Yeah, became the Finn brothers, some of the Finn brothers, and the like. Now, these are not babies, these are toddlers, but these are not really toddlers. They're artistic license in babies. First Blood and Sweat and Tears album, Al Cooper and Company. Great record, especially the opening, after the overture, I Love You More Than You'll Ever Know. The artist as toddlers, creepy toddlers, not babies, so that doesn't count. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Baby on the cover, Baby Huey. Big Baby on the cover and back cover, Baby Huey. $1 Billion Babies, not Al Cooper, Alice Cooper. There and there, with the fantastic title song, $1 Billion Babies, with a great duet sung by Donovan. Donovan is so cool on this Alice Cooper record, right? God, he makes the single, I think. And I'm going to end up with what you're hearing in the background, if you hear anything, and that is Soothing Sound for Babies by Raymond Scott. This is a, last few years, this came out a reissue on Music on Vinyl. These are 3 separate albums in the early 60s, sponsored by the Gazelle Institute of Child Development, which Gazelle is Dr. Seuss, if you know the Dr. Seuss books that really help child development and vocabulary. Raymond Scott is a very famous, and I am a fan. In fact, I did a feature on Raymond Scott. He did electronic music, experimental stuff, a lot of scores, a lot of commercial work, and I have a lot of his music on CD and vinyl. So these are 3 volumes that showcased volume 1, 0 to 6 months, and then 0 to 1 year, and then 1 year to 18 months, and music you play to soothe your baby. Stop that colicking baby. I've been there. I was a baby, and I had a baby. My baby is now 29 years old. So this is the end of babies. Show your babies, not literally, musically, and I hope you got a little hankering on how to make a baby in case you decide you want to do so. So Mazzy loves you, and thank you, James, for coming up with this brilliant, babylicious idea. Take care.